All right, welcome everyone to this special day, to this special announcement. I see we already have 56 people watching only, I think it's only on YouTube. So welcome all of you guys. Let's just see, let's do a quick vibe check. Tell us how you feel just using emojis in the chat. Let's do a small celebration. Let's get it started. In the meantime, while we all celebrate, before we all start, I want to congratulate the whole team that is doing this, because I know they have been working super hard. They have been pouring their blood and tears for a month into this integration, into this product. Just wanted to say that I'm super proud. Some of you might have already seen the teaser that I posted, or that we posted this week, but let's just watch it one more time. And for the ones that haven't seen it yet, watch it for the first time. It's pretty funny. Let's see the teaser for this event.
Hi Mark, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Who is this?
What do you mean? I'm Patrick.
Who?
I'm Patrick, the CEO of Vue Storefront.
Oh, cool. Congrats.
I just got off the call with engineering and they told me something. But before I tell you that, you have to promise me you will not tell this to anyone else.
Of course not. I promise.
This is super secret, man.
Super secret. Got it.
This cannot leak.
No leaks. Got you covered.
The release date for the integration with is finally here. Can you imagine? We waited for so long.
Oh man, that's so awesome. Send me the details. And no worries. Nobody will know. Okay, and that brought us to today, the 20th of July 2022, and we are so ready. Probably you're all excited now to know what exactly Patrick told me that day, and we have him here live. Patrick Friday, CEO of Vue Storefront. Hello, how are you doing, Patrick?
Hi Mark, I'm great. It's a little bit hot outside, but I am wearing the hoodie because I'm cooling down the room, because you know this announcement is quite hot and everyone was waiting for it. So
Awesome. So you're going to tell us a little bit about the story of Vue Storefront first, before jumping into the big announcement. So I will pull up your screen, and the stage is yours, Patrick.
awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. And hi everyone. Super happy you're joining us. This is definitely a very exciting day, and it's very much important for me to give you a little bit of story of Vue Storefront. How did we get started? This will also give you the idea why the integration that we are about to release today, it's so important for us at Vue Storefront. So it goes back to 2017. There was a problem and we had an idea to solve it. The Karwatka brothers, Tomek and Piotrek, they were the Divante founders. They are already exited with the company. Now they started Catch the Tornado, which is a startup studio. They are investing in many different interesting projects. Back then, we were doing it together with them. And since Divante was working with Magento for a very long time, since 2019, that was basically the backend we decided to focus on from the very beginning. And Magento was providing a front end that was very difficult to work with, especially when we came to an era where mobile traffic shifted heavily, and we experienced that some of the brands had 50, 60, or even 70% of the traffic coming from mobile devices and not desktop. And It sounded like there was no solution out there, so we decided to give it a try and start with PWA, and we created this concept, and then basically we started working on that. And most important, we just wanted this to be open source. We just wanted to have other people from community joining and helping us to deliver this. So August 15 was 2017 was the very first commit we did on the Vue Storefront, and this is the official born date because this is where the repo and everything started for us. September 15, 2017, we had our first logo, we had our first website. So for those of you who are not following us from the very beginning, this is how our logo used to look like. This is how our website looks like. It was just PWA storefront for e-commerce. November 26, 2017, very first proof of concept live. Basic features, homepage, product card, listing of the product, sidebar, static page, and PWA manifest. February 2018, our first blog post and tweet. And if you read carefully on the right side, Philip made a mistake in the very first blog in the history. Vue Storefront is fast and ridiculously easy to learn, right? So kudos to Philip. It's very worth to remember. February 21, 2018, first ever merge. Only 25 pieces were made. So if anyone still has it, this is also a very unique piece and might be a great story and great artifact to keep for a very long time going forward. March 18, 2018, we had our first 1,000 stars. So it was quite a long time ago, almost more than 4 years actually. So this was the beginning of something we didn't expect will get that big, to be completely honest with you. May 2018, first Vue Storefront hackathon. This was done in the Devante offices. We had plenty of people, more than we actually could fit into the room, so we had to reorganize and get more places. But that was also the beginning of the series of hackathons that unfortunately finished when COVID hit. May 30, 2018, Vue Storefront 1.0 was released. July 2nd, 2018, we launched our product hunt campaign, and we got a second product of the day. 2018, so we finished the year with more than 80 Magento partners in our ecosystem. All of those partners are still with us until today, so we are very happy with this. Also, those partners started working with us as we were adding additional integrations, so commerce tools, BigCommerce, Shopify, right? So those partners really extended, and they benefited with Vue Storefront, because now you can use Vue Storefront no matter what you have on your backend, no matter what CMS you want to use, no matter what search you want to use. You have one front end to work with all of those solutions. October 23, 2019. So that was the very first Magento enterprise client that did go live. That was Zadig and Voltaire, and the project was delivered by agency D&D from France. So we still have very good relationship with everyone that worked at Zadig back then. Some people already moved to the other companies. We still work with agency D&D. You can see a detailed case study on our website. January 31st, 2019, that was the beginning of Shopware PWA at Vue Storefront. So as you probably know, Shopware PWA is powered by Vue Storefront. It is very much dedicated for Shopware 6 itself, but under the hood, you will find a lot of similarities because Vue Storefront was the initiator of this. May 24, 2019, first version of Shopware PWA was released. So it took us approximately 5 months to get the first version out of the door. December 19, 2019, that was the date when everything changed for us. We announced Vue Storefront Next. So this is the current version of Vue Storefront. We also made a final decision to do the spin-off from Devante and become an independent company. And we started to prepare for our fundraising. On February 10, 2020, we had a go live of another enterprise Magento customer, Tallywhale, and that project was delivered by Devante. Again, if you want to see more details on the case study, go to our website for case studies. February 17, 2020, that was a very sad day because that was the last hackathon before COVID-19. As you know, in Europe, we started heavy lockdowns. I think it was like 20th or 23rd of March 2020. So that was the last hackathon, and we had to cancel everything else. But as you can see, we had more than 30 hackathons all over the place during the beginnings of Vue Storefront, and we plan to continue that. April 8, 2020, this is where we announced our integration with Commerce Tools. Integration with Commerce Tools was the first integration that was using our new version of Vue Storefront Next. And this is also helped with the Lovecrafts. Lovecrafts is our current customer, and probably this wouldn't happen without their support. So I would like to thank Lovecraft team and Halil specifically to helping us to push this forward. August 6, 2020, that was the integration with Shopify. So this is where our Rate team help us and deliver this. We are still continuing to improve the integration. June 23, 2020, Vue Storefront joins Mach Alliance. I believe that this is one of the most important events for the headless and composable commerce. What Mach Alliance created back then, we were only 7 members, 3 founding members, and we joined as the only frontend back then. And we are still the only front-end solution that is available on the Mach Alliance. They completely changed the perspective and how the industry is looking at headless currently. Right now, there is more than 50 different members in there, a lot of big agencies, a lot of big other technology vendors. So if you do not know about Mach Alliance, I would recommend to go to their website and check more for yourself. December 1st, 2020, we became an independent company. We had 7 people on board. What this means? We signed our agreement for the seed round, $1.5 million with venture capital companies, Movens and Smoke Ventures. That was 11 a.m. Then we went home from Warsaw to Wrocław. At 6 p.m., we got a call from Y Combinator, and they told us that we got accepted. So that was quite exciting day. We definitely didn't expect the Y Combinator call. We did knew we are going to sign the papers for the very first investment, but that was basically the official beginning of the independent journey at Vue Storefront. December 29, 2020, that was the first Commerce Tools site that went live. It's Foodle and was created by Mindcurve as an agency. April 2021, we had our continuous growing of live stores. We had 350 live stores back then. We had around 30 employees, and we also opened up our office in San Francisco as part of our expansion into USA. October 13th, 2021, we raised Series A with the total amount $17.4 million, backed by Corandum, Early Bird, Power Ventures, and our previous investor, Movens Capital. And this is also the proof that we managed to figure out how we can monetize on Vue Storefront, that this is a product that is used by many other companies as well. That is a product which is delivering value to our customers. So this was a moment where also we were able to grow even more and improve our product even to even higher means. March 29, 2022, BigCommerce integration was announced, and this integration is also live right now. So July 20th, basically the status as of today. So you remember when we got our seed round in December 2020, we were only 7 people on board. July 20th, 2022, we are 100 people on board right now. So the growth at Vue Storefront was spectacular, and we are not stopping here. Again, currently our amount of live stores, we made the slides yesterday. I checked today on BuildWith. We are not at 100 to 1,250. It's already above 1,300. So if we compare it to April 2021, we went from 350 stores. So the growth is more than 4 times. July 22nd, so also as of today, very important announcement. We actually reached the very important milestone of 10,000 stars. And as you remember earlier, I showed you when we had our 1,000 stars. So this is also an amazing thing to achieve. What is even better, we are very, very close to overcoming Magento repository in terms of amount of stars. I think we are missing 100, 150 stars. So if there is any of you listening to me right now, if you could go to GitHub, click star, I would be very grateful, because there is one person that promised us to do a big party when we're gonna take over Magento in terms of amount of stars. So please help me to achieve that goal. And then compared to PWA Studio, I think they are at about 1,000 stars right now. So our account is 10 times bigger, and we are the biggest and the most popular front end for e-commerce. And I don't know what happened with this slide. I had the logo here, I had the name. So there is a launch of the very long-awaited integration. And Mark, I think now is the time where we can reveal it. I think people waited enough. I don't know what happened with the slide, but if we could show it to them, I think it's...
It is finally here, Patrick. Everyone in the audience, you can see a little revamp of my office. The lights are now orange instead of green today. We all bleed orange. Go Magento integration. How are you feeling, Patrick, that this is finally out?
Yeah, it's amazing, because there was so much work that we've put into this. I think Philip and Marcin are going to cover that later on, but we postponed the launch of this integration so many times because we just wanted to make it into perfection. We invested a lot of time into this, right, and a lot of resources, because we just felt we have to give it back to the community. And the Vue Storefront 1 that we created in the beginning, this was not perfect. There was no one else on the market that we could learn from. So the Magento 2 integration with Vue Storefront right now is basically the 4 years of learnings. What we took from other integrations like Magento, like commerce tools, BigCommerce, we learned a lot of new things. And this is what is now incorporated into this integration with Magento, which is the new one, is with Vue Storefront next. So the new version of Vue Storefront.
All right, yeah, these are all super exciting news. We have now 133 people watching this. Very quickly in the chat, show your excitement about this. Again, showing emojis. All right, so thank you, Philip, for this history and the announcement of the awesome new Magento integration. And we are coming to the next part of this stream. So you might have some questions now about the integration. And Philip, our CTO, might have some answers, because he's going to tell you a little bit why this was built. And welcome, Philip. How are you? You are muted.
I shouldn't be muted anymore. Hello.
Are you excited to finally bring it out?
Of course I am, Mark. Like, you know, we're working so hard, and honestly, like,
I know
Magento is our roots. Like, we started with Magento. I will talk a lot about this in our in my presentation, and it's awesome, really awesome to see a lot of people from the Magento community, people I met on conferences, people that were supporting us from the beginning or sometimes later. It's great to see you, really, and it's great to be able to reveal what we revealed just now to you. And
all right, yeah. So you're going to talk about why the integration was built. I'm going to pull up your screen, and the stage is yours, Philip.
Okay, that's perfect. So again, welcome everyone. Honestly, it's amazing to see more than 100 people coming here, and we're really flattered, and we really believe that everything that we're building is because of the community, and we are super happy that you're still cheering for us. It's great to see so many familiar faces, but I also know that there might be some people who don't know what Vue Storefront is. I mean, I hope you know what Vue Storefront is, but might not be super aligned. So before I will jump a little bit later into the context of the Magento integration, why we build that and how it compares to other solutions, maybe let's quickly align on our mission, because I think it's super important to understand like everything that I will tell you a little bit later. So for those who don't know much about Vue Storefront, you know, in my opinion, headless commerce is the future of e-commerce at scale. But every technology has its downsides. And the biggest downside of headless commerce is its complexity. You no longer have just a monolith that you're building. Of course, at some point, it's going to be super, super complex and super unmaintainable. But initially, it's very easy to set up, right? And headless commerce, on the other hand, it's super complex to set up. And there's basically a very high initial time and money investment. And our goal is simple. We want to remove this downside. We want to both accelerate, but also simplify building of e-commerce front ends, or basically heads. And in the head, we mean much more than just a front end, because we want to support and accelerate every stage of development, from the design phase that we are supporting right now with Storefront UI, to connecting different services which we are supporting with our API middleware that already has integrations with a lot of services. And even after that, but that's coming later. And there are many similar products on the market, and we see that headless commerce is really, really, really growing super fast. At the time when we were starting, I think it was only us and IT, and right now there's a new headless storefront product popping every week. But what makes us unique, and I think it is a super nice thing to be recognized from our open source roots. So we are open source project from the day one. And right now, when we became a company, we're always trying to align our business goals with our open source roots. It's not easy, but it's also super rewarding. And I really believe that with the community, you can really achieve things that even a huge corporations can't. And in addition, Vue Storefront is a tool for developers, and the majority of the current storefront solutions is leaning towards being tools for marketers. And with Vue Storefront, you have a direct access to the code, and you can literally do anything you want with it. So there are no limitations. And our goal was to really create the best possible acceleration for Magento frontends that will help you to avoid repetitive groundwork, but also put a very solid foundation for the next storefront. So you can make it faster, you can make it cheaper, and we can make a lot of architectural decisions that are usually very repetitive for you. But I'm talking a lot about why it's so important. And honestly, Magento integration is the one that we're always the most passionate, that is bringing the biggest amount of emotions. And this is why we wanted to make it right more than anything else. And, to understand why, we have to go back to the end of 2017. And at that time, together with Piotr Karwatka, co-founder of Divante, and also one of the early founders of Vue Storefront, we pushed the first commits to the Vue Storefront 1 repository and started spreading the word about the project among the Magento developers. And to me, it was the first time ever when I interacted with the Magento community, even though at that time I was working as a Magento developer. I started with Magento 1 and then did some projects with Magento 2. But I never had the chance to interact with the community. So I didn't know what to expect. And really, I was soon about to learn how great it is. Because the response that we got from the Magento community was incredible, really. Just a few weeks after the announcement, hundreds of developers joined our Slack. And they wanted to support the project, just this. Many of them did that through contributions. Some were just spreading the word, answering questions on Slack. Everyone wanted to get involved. Everyone wanted us, the project, to be successful. And over the next 2 years, the Magento community really kept supporting us. We're invited, I think, to almost every Meet Magento event. And every time we made it, we were getting a lot of positive energy and support from everyone we met. So on the pictures that you see myself on Meet Magento New York. You see Patrick and myself and the Divante team also in New York. You see Piotr Karwatka in Singapore. And you also see posters from some other Meet Magentos. And that's not everything. Like there's a lot of those events that we've been at, people we talk with, and always we're getting a lot of support. Even when we were doing a campaign on Product Hunt, and if I remember right, we were fighting with Apple product launch. We managed to get the second product of the day, and it's all because of your support. And honestly, I have no doubt we wouldn't be where we are without the great push from you, from Magento community. And for that, we're really forever grateful. And this is why we really wanted to give back to the Magento community. And we are releasing this integration as fully open source project forever with MIT license, which means that it can be used for free without any limitations for any purpose. And it will stay like that. And you can already check it out on GitHub. Just go to github.com/VueStorefront/Magento. And we were actually ready to launch this integration a few times already. And you probably know this because we were announcing it some time ago. But we knew that the Magento community really deserves something that would outperform Vue Storefront 1 in all possible aspects. So we took our time, we're not rushing, and we carefully investigated the needs of Magento front-end developers. And at the end of last year, we hired Marcin Kwiatkowski, one of the best developers I know, honestly, with a lot of experience in both Magento and Magento frontends. I used to work with Marcin in Devante before, and Marcin was always someone who knew the answer to any Magento specific question. So we hired Marcin to lead the project and watch over its quality. And I'm incredibly proud of Marcin and his team's work. Honestly, I couldn't ask for more committed and hardworking team, because when Marcin took over the project, it was almost ready. And honestly, I recommended that we not delay the launch anymore. I wanted Marcin to just polish it and make sure it's high quality. And despite that recommendation, Marcin made a very tough decision and postponed the launch of a project for many months. Why? Because he wanted to rebuild the integration to meet his quality standards. And believe me, it's not easy to satisfy. Even now, he says that we are telling them about the great things and how great it is, and they are always finding new things to improve. So let this show how much this team cares about the project and what you can expect after this 1.0 release. So Bartosz, Artur, Gabriel, huge kudos to you for the hard work, for the commitment to make the best Magento integration out there. Also, there was man in the shadows, Matt Pietrusiński, who is our leader of the integrations team, and he also contributed a lot of sweat to the final scope of this integration. So today's launch is a historical event because of many things. Basically today is historical because of many things. We crossed 10,000 GitHub stars, we are launching Magento integration, but today is also a historical end of Vue Storefront 1. So we will still provide extended support for clients and apply essential security fixes just like we did, but we are more than sure that the current solution is outperforming Vue Storefront 1 in basically all aspects. And that's the version we are putting our whole focus on. So let me highlight now some of the key aspects we have improved in this iteration of Vue Storefront. First and foremost, this integration is much more future-proof and it's using Nuxt.js. So we started building Vue Storefront more than 4 years ago, almost 5, when headless commerce was still very unexplored territory for almost everyone. And I think we're the first one on the market to experiment around this concept on such a huge scale as a product, but we're also the first ones to make the mistakes. So in Vue Storefront 2, we applied all of those learnings, all those lessons, tons of feedback we got from our customers, contributors, and of course, other community members. And we decided to use Nuxt.js instead of building low-level features by ourselves, like in Vue Storefront 1. And Nuxt, I think if you know Vue.js, you know Nuxt. It's popular, most popular, and extremely powerful meta framework built on top of Vue.js that adds a lot of features like server-side rendering, file-based routing, plugin system, and this sort of stuff. And it contributes to a great developer experience and ensures that we will have a constant updates and improvements both on micro and macro levels. Also, choosing Nuxt kind of ensures that we will always be following the latest trends in the SPA development, and we'll be the first to adapt all the new Vue.js features, and we can focus on the e-commerce. Also, one of the main reasons why actually we decided to migrate Vue Storefront to Nuxt is its ecosystem, because Nuxt has more than 200 official and probably thousands of unofficial modules that are now available for Vue Storefront users. So every common use case of single-page application or integration with a well-known tool, it's now achievable just through installing a Nuxt.js module. And I remember when I was on a call with clients and they were asking about different things. So can this be done? Can that be done? I used to say like, well, there is a module for that. Also, Nuxt.js supports multiple deployment options. So we have SSG, SSR, client-side rendering as well, and also hybrid. And each of them is highly configurable. So now what we want you to do is to focus on building parts that are really specific to your project, not on repetitive groundwork. And this is kind of our mantra. We want to do every repetitive groundwork for you. Also, Vue Storefront integration achieves on average 20 to even 30 better performance on home, product, and category pages compared to Vue Storefront 1 using Lighthouse 6 metrics. And it's just a 1.0 version, and we are still not done. We still see room for improvement, and we plan to double that in the upcoming months, especially for the product page. At the same time, we are looking very closely at the amazing work that Next.js team is doing on Nitro engine. That should open a lot of new possibilities when it comes to edge computing. If you don't know Nitro engine from Next, I definitely recommend to Google this because it's a fascinating thing. Also, one of the issues of Vue Storefront 1 was its complexity. So our main goal at that time was to overcome the slowness of Magento with big traffic and big catalogs. But the solution, it came with a cost, of course. And this cost was additional complexity of hosting Elasticsearch, Vue Storefront API, running the workers, etc., indexers. And Vue Storefront 1, by default, it runs both Next and the middleware as a single Node.js application and can be hosted everywhere where Node.js is supported and can be deployed with a single command. If you have higher traffic, you can always host our API middleware as a separate application that scales independently. And of course, if you want to support us further, we'd be more than happy if you explore using our cloud, and you can check more on our website. Another benefit, because of the reduced complexity, the learning curve is also much, much sleeker. And one of our goals for the second iteration of Vue Storefront was basically to accelerate the development in every possible way. And from my opinion, how long it takes for a developer to actually get onboarded into the project or how fast she or he can be productive is also one of those aspects. So in Vue Storefront 2, we use common tooling, we use known patterns, and we use native Magento API, so developers need to learn only a few new concepts to actually become productive. And, with all of those improvements, I think this is like a cherry on top, but Vue Storefront 2 integration leverages native Magento to GraphQL API to ensure the best developer experience. And in addition, we introduced some optimizations that will decrease the impact of the GraphQL layer on the bundle size, especially when you have a big project with a lot of mutations and queries. And if you are in the Magento space, you probably know that it has its own headless frontend solution, PWA Studio, or to be more precise, a toolkit to build PWA frontends. And we have been following PWA Studio updates from its early days, of course, and we have a bit different view on how to build Magento storefronts. Let's highlight the differences first. On a high level, you can say that the key difference between PWA Studio and Vue Storefront is very fundamental. So while Adobe's product is a rich but also complex toolkit to build Magento storefronts, Vue Storefront is the storefront itself. So our goal is, to accelerate the work of development teams by providing boilerplate or the best boilerplate out there. And honestly, we believe that the best acceleration, it really comes from removing repetitive and generic groundwork and not confusing developers with a lot of initial architecture decisions and discussions that, let's be honest, almost always have the same result. So we believe that delivering boilerplate with all the groundwork in place, good architecture, infrastructure setup, and a wide range of integrations, this is actually a much better contribution than an additional set of tools that you have to use to actually build this accelerator. We also believe that one of the main benefits of headless is freedom. This is why we want to help our users avoid so-called vendor lock-in. So being locked into a particular vendor ecosystem. So if you want to stay more independent from Adobe, or if you plan to migrate to different e-commerce backend engine like Commerce Tools, BigCommerce, ElasticPath, etc. in the future, then Vue Storefront is definitely a better choice for you. Because with Vue Storefront, you can change your e-commerce, CMS, search, payment, any other vendor without rebuilding your storefront from scratch. Of course, there will be a little bit of work, sometimes even more work. But the goal here is that this is just piece of the puzzle in your headless commerce stack that you're replacing not something that should imply that you're replacing everything. So as you see, we have a completely different philosophy than Adobe when it comes to building storefronts, but the differences are not only on the higher level. Vue Storefront has full server-side rendering support that PWA Studio is lacking. We are also providing additional API middleware that provides more flexibility and better performance on the data layer. And also, we have a better feature coverage. You can actually expect a post from Marcin Kwiatkowski about the differences between Vue Storefront and PWA Studio soon-ish. Also, it must have happened. I know that a lot of people will be comparing us to Vue. I think this is the right pronunciation. If not, sorry. So both Vue and Vue Storefront, they're great. I think great alternatives for a traditional Magento frontend, and honestly, both will bring noticeable improvements in both developer experience, performance, and maintainability of your Magento storefront. And let's also be honest, I think Vue is the best thing that happened to monolithic Magento, but it's important to be aware that both tools, even though they solve the same problems, they kind of fit into completely different use cases, because Vue is a Magento team, so your application is still monolithic. Despite this old PWA hype that we had in the Magento community, we really believe that there is a place for a monolith in the e-commerce solution landscape. And it's definitely a better choice if your requirements are rather straightforward and you want to heavily leverage features of Magento instead of relying on multiple independent software vendors or building your own microservices. And the initial cost of headless is high, and its benefits are highest at the larger scale. And Vue Storefront is an independent front-end application that talks to Magento through an API and comes with all the benefits and drawbacks of headless architecture. So like any headless solution, it's a great choice for larger and more complex shops that need to remain scalable and easy to change despite a huge scale. But if you're running, let's say 500K or 1 million year business, you probably should not consider headless and just choose the option that would allow you to start selling as fast as possible. That's my honest opinion. So the choice really is not between Vue Storefront and Vue, but headless and monolith. And if you decide to choose headless, you know who to choose. Now you can already try out our integration and go to the documentation. Today we even updated the theme of the docs and a little bit the content, so you can be one of the first ones to actually try it out. Also, if you try it out, please provide feedback. Send it to Discord, send it to Twitter, send it to me directly via email. Just please provide feedback, because we are making this integration for you. We really want this integration to answer all your needs. We really want to make it right. And if you will have some feedback, if you will see that something can be done better or something is not working, please let us know. Any channel, it could be also a GitHub issue. We would love to discuss a little bit and hear it. Also, Patrick mentioned that we crossed 10K stars, but you can also give us a star, because today it can be historical because of one more reason. Actually, it looks like we are like 50 stars right now from Magento on GitHub, and we're waiting a lot for this moment to happen. And I also remember that Tomek Karwatka, also one of the founders of Divante, he said that if we surpass Magento, he'll throw a party. So I hope he's a man of his word. We'll see. But today we have a chance to also surpass Magento. So we'll have a hat trick: Magento integration, 10K stars, and surpassing Magento. That would be awesome. Thanks so much. And I really, really hope you will like the integration. You will try it out. You will tell the feedback. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Philip, for this, for your presentation. To everyone watching and not watching in the comments, one small correction. This is the correct GitHub repo. Instead, in the case you tried with the 2 at the end, it's github.com/vuestorefront/magento2. In case you got a 404 error there, but that's it. So thanks a lot, Philip. And And now we have our next speaker. If you ask me, the man of the hour, because he is the Magento integration lead developer, Marcin. Hello, Marcin. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. So today you're going to talk to us a little bit about about the history of how the integration was created. But before we get to that, I want to congratulate you personally and of course your entire team. You've been doing an amazing job. I know how much time went into this, so congratulations, Marcin. This is all awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right, I pull up your screen. There you are, and the stage is yours.
Thanks, and hello everyone. I just want to say a few words about the integration and about our road from my perspective and maybe more from developer perspective. So in the beginning, in November 2021, Philip asked me about joining Vue Storefront and lead the Magento integration team. And of course, I agreed because the project was really interesting to me. I started from analysis how is the current state of the integration. Philip initially said that we need only to polish the integration, and after a few days, I realized that it will be more than just polishing and fixing bugs. So we started from setting up environments and building a team and workflows. And I was really excited about that. Moreover, we hired a smart people to my team, and we everything that we needed to get ball rolling was in place. So after a few weeks, I think that we fixed something around 100 bugs, added many refactors, finished multi-store, and so on. And the first failure, we did a lot so far. And initially we wanted to release the integration in March. But to be honest, I was not satisfied by the current implementation. And in my opinion, the integration was good, but the code complexity was too big. Performance could be better. And and we decided to change the release date. So after that, we decided to change the date because we wanted to improve the performance, decrease code complexity, technical depth, and find the new approach to develop boilerplate and avoid breaking changes after the 1.0 release. Besides, there is a false opinion that Magento GraphQL API is slow at all. And we wanted to be sure that our Magento instance is optimized and fast. So we configured the Magento, and the main point of the configuration was Varnish. And also on storefront side, we implemented a Redis caching mechanism, and also thanks to our partners, we delivered a module that can clear Redis cache on storefront based on Varnish tags returned from Magento, from Varnish, and it is really cool. And we stuck to the plan, and we refactored up a lot. The main change was the coupling from Vue Storefront core module where possible. We removed factories and we started using Next.js native functions where it was possible. Also, we added full TypeScript support, unit test, and we reorganized the code to modules. On the other hand, we increased quality of code a lot, and I'm really satisfied by that. For end users and developers, that all means better developer experience, improved performance, and in fact, completely refactored product and catalog pages and whole My Account section. And to be precise, we merged something around 600 pull requests. So this is a huge number, I think. And so far, so good. But 1.0 doesn't mean the end of our road, I think. Next, we want to implement external checkout for those who really like Magento default checkout. Other features like page builder integration, next performance improvements, new documentation, because our documentation should be clean for newcomers. And in the end, I want to say that we do this integration for community, so you all guys can suggest to us what we should add to our roadmap, and we will listen to your feedback. And at the end, I want to thank all great people that helped me with the integration. Especially I want to thank Bartosz, Artur, Gabriel, Miłosz, Kevin, and Georgi, and of course all community members and Vue Storefront people. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Marcin, for your presentation. So how do you feel that it's finally out now?
I feel really good because, we have worked half year. So now we can just reveal that and wait for feedback, because feedback is really important. I want to hear what people think about the integration and check our assumptions and maybe align with expectation of community.
All right, cool. So I'm looking forward to what you're up to next, what's coming next. And for now, I'm just really proud of you. And yes, enjoy your launch day, the rest of your launch day.
Thank you.
All right, so now we are almost over, but not yet. We have one last thing that we want to talk about, and that is one last announcement by our CEO, Patrick, Friday. Hey, Patrick, you told me that you have one last thing you want to tell our audience.
Yes.
What's that all about?
And actually, I remember two things. So the first thing that you mentioned is that over the last many months, we are continue to develop our cloud platform, right? The cloud platform is not yet available to everyone. This is rather for like bigger customers, because this is where we can actually provide the support that we want. So you will have some additional information on our documentation very soon. If you are interested to test it, we would be more than happy to speak with you and give you early access to it, specifically for the Magento integration, because it's a new thing, right? It was not available before. So this is something we're gonna be getting out there very soon. So please look at our docs, contact me or anyone else from the team if you want to test it out, because this is how you can support us going forward, right? The only way for us to make some revenue on Magento integration is if you guys are going to use our cloud platform to deploy your Vue Storefront builds. And the second thing is, what I would love all of you to do, as Marcin mentioned, we really want to hear your feedback. This is where we put a lot of work into this, and your feedback is gonna be a very big gift and reward for Marcin and everyone else that was involved into making this integration. And this is also the only way for us to actually improve it, right? So I really want you to go there now, find some time, play around with this, and start collecting the questions. Any doubts, like you can start sharing them on Discord. And what we're gonna plan, I'm not sure exactly where is the date. Follow us on social media, Discord, and other places, because we're gonna announce the Q&A session. And we want to make this Q&A session of the very good value for you. So we're gonna collect all the questions before, because I'm sure that some of those questions will be business oriented, some of those questions will be technical. So we want to prepare and make sure we can cover all of those questions. And this will be larger Q&A, right? It will be with me, it will be with Philip, it will be with Marcin. So you will have pretty much the same crowd on the call. So we can help you go forward and listen to your feedback and answer any questions, improvements, anything like that. So the Q&A session is coming.
All right, cool. That's too cool announcement. Like the cloud platform thing sounds amazing. Cool. And yeah, the Q&A session. So everyone that is still on this call, please wait on our social media accounts for an announcement to this Q&A session. It will be off the hook, and it will happen sometime next week. So look out for the announcement that we announce our Q&A session. We actually have a few minutes left. What I want to do is for the next 8.5 minutes, I will take everyone up here and we can start responding some of the initial questions. Not all of them, it might be too many, but let's see if we can get some questions answered, and then the questions that can't be answered now because of time, we will answer them probably next week in our Q&A. So we have here again, everyone, we have Marcin and Philip back. All right, here is a question. There's an online version of VSF Magento for us to try. I think the answer would be this, right? The docs. In the docs you can find all the information, or
maybe the question.
Oh no, I think no.
This, or this
oh yes, like a demo, right?
Mm-hmm. So
yeah. So can you guys paste the demo in the chat from our team, because we have a demo for it. So I'm sure someone from Vue Storefront will put it in the chat. We have a link for this.
Yeah, but in general, all the links to demos, repositories, everything are in the documentation.
All right. So if there are any more questions, please ask them now. I will scroll a little bit to see if I find some questions from earlier. Oh, we have something here from Ioannis. Is there a migration procedure from Vue Storefront 1 to Vue Storefront 2 for Magento?
So this is actually something that I think we will even write an article about. The answer, the short answer is there is a migration path, but it's not easy. Mostly because Vue Storefront 1 is relying on our own engine regarding server-side rendering, and Vue Storefront 2 is relying on Next 2 and Composition API. So there's a lot of differences. But what you can for sure migrate are definitely modules. There's a very similar way of handling things in Next.js, and definitely your team. But it won't be just a copy-paste work. The business logic probably has to be rewritten.
Okay, thanks for that response, Philip. I will scroll through some more questions. Oh, is there a new question? No, someone posting links. If not, in the meantime, you can just talk about like how this launch day has been for you, all of you. Like, how has your experience from getting up and preparing for the day and then having this huge like event within the day? Like, tell a little bit about this while I look for some more questions. Philip.
How I feel? Well, you already asked. I mean, I'm super stressed. I'm super excited. You know, like there is a lot of story in this launch, and it's hard to not feel emotional about this. It's hard not to be a little bit stressed as well. But
Yeah,
I'm
of
super
course.
happy. I'm again, like I said it, I think 3 times already. I'm super happy that we're having all of these Magento folks here, our partners, community members. It's great to have you, and we hope that you will support us throughout the way with the Magento 2 integration for Vue Storefront 2 as well.
And I think, or any use on the WooCommerce integration. So I know there is a community effort, and we have a partner that started the initiative. So if you go to our Discord channel, you can find the WooCommerce channel specifically for that. And I think we can also paste where the repo for this is, so you guys can also contribute, because this is going to be the community effort. I also know that there are some questions, or is there integration with commerce tools? Is it going to be available as open source? You guys have integration with BigCommerce. Is it going to be available as open source? So we decided to make a very straightforward rule. If the backend platform is not available as open source, we're also not going to make it available on open source, right? If the backend platform is available as open source, we're going to release the open source version for it. So if you think of Magento is open source, we release the open source version. PrestaShop, WooCommerce, Venger, Medusa, right? So there's also a lot of new cool backends that are focusing also on this API first approach and composable. This is something that we're gonna focus on in our open source efforts. But you know, SAP Hybris, Salesforce, Spryker, and a lot of other backend systems like that. This is very complex. It is mainly used by the larger enterprise grade customers. And this is being completely transparent. This is where we make our money on as well, right? So we have to make a living. We have to keep growing and hiring the people so we can deliver more stuff to you. So in general, that's pretty much the rule for it.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. I think there are no more questions left. So I think we're at the end of this broadcast, of this stream. I want to thank the three of you for joining this session. Patrick, Marcin, and Philip, it's been amazing having you here. And I hope seeing many more great things happening in this Magento integration and, of course, others. And thanks, of course, everyone that came to see this stream and everyone that is still on it, still 73 people. So thanks a lot, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your days. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye-bye.